Stages of polygraph examination. Preliminary preparations. FP must obtain accurate information regarding all available facts and circumstances. FP should request a crime scene sketch prepared by the investigators on the case. FP should receive and study written materials prior to the investigator's arrival. Set a meeting with the requesting party.
Good day, ma'am.
Good day po, ma'am.
Review the requesting party to know the basic nature and facts of the case, know the reason and purpose of the examination, gather information that will be used in formulating test questions, establish the specific areas to be resolved, schedule the actual test of the subject. Required to the requesting party to submit the necessary documents and evidence that may provide substantial information. Prepare a polygraph question based on the information gathered. Observe the rules in formulating polygraph question. Select the most appropriate type of polygraph test to be used during the actual test. Before the subject arrive at the polygraph suite, prepare the polygraph room. Check the lighting and check the ventilation. To set up the polygraph machine, place the instrument on the top of the polygraph desk. Arrange the sensors and accessories beside the instrument. After we set up the polygraph and to ensure that it is in a good working condition, first is plug the power. And if the power does not light up, toggle the power button and check the AVR. Next is if the power indicator lights up, check the supply of the polygraph paper and ink. Open the vent knob. Allow air to enter the pneumo tubes and arm cuff. Next is lower the pens to test position and set the sensitivity to the pen's minimum. Switch on the chart drive or the chemograph. Pens should immediately move and paper chart start to run if the chart drive working properly. Use the centering knob to position the pen. Check the pneumo 1 and pneumo 2 components. Slowly move the pneumo 2 tube and observe the pneumo tube if there is a reaction. Next is check the GSR components. Slightly touch the metallic if there is a reaction. Check the cargo component. Slowly squeeze the pump to inflate the arm cuff. Observe the cardio tracing if there is a reaction. Switch off the chart drive and immediately lift the pen and ready to position. Set all the pen to sensitivity to minimum and close the vent knob. And last is switch off the power. Pre-test interview. Hello, sir. Pleased to meet you. I'm the examiner, Angel Magaro. And how are you today, sir?
I'm fine, ma'am.
Do you want anything, sir? Like coffee, juice, or water, sir?
No.
Inside, sir. And have a seat, sir. Is your name Natividad Roy, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You work at the Ayala family, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you residing at the Barangay 6, Bacara, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you know how this machine works, sir?
No, ma'am.
This machine is, it can determine if the person is deceptive or not, if he or she telling the truth. Can you please answer my question, sir, with honesty?
Yes, ma'am.
So, to have a proof that you are willing to cooperate at this examination, sir, can you please sign this waiver? So, sir, before we start the polygraph examination, let me remind you what are your rights. Sir, did you already know your rights, sir?
No, ma'am.
So, these are your rights. First is you have the right to remain silent, that anything you can say is may be used in favor against you. Second is the right to have a lawyer of his own choice. Third is the right to refuse. And last is the right against self-incrimination. So, did you understand what are your rights, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So, let's go now to the third stage, which is the instrumentation. First is place the instrument on top of the polygraph desk and arrange the sensors and accessories beside the instrument. The polygraph instrument must at the back side of the subject, and the subject must face at the left side of the components. First is turn on the power button and request the subject to remove his jewelries. Sir, can you please remove all your jewelries?
Yes, ma'am.
And after that, attach the first component, which is the GSR. By putting the GSR, you put it into the index finger and ring finger. And the next component is the pneumograph. Sir, can you please stand up? In placing this, it must be at the abdomen of the subject. And the bedded chain must be at the right side of the subject. Make sure that it is comfortable to the subject, not too tight and loose. So, sir, can you please turn back? To determine if it is in a good position, insert your forefinger at the back. After we set the pneumographs, please, sir, can you please sit down? Last is the cardiograph. First is we look the pulse rate of the subject. So after that, the locate pulse must be placed the sensory. As we can see, the subject is male, so the pressure that we will apply is 70 to 80 in order to determine the pressure that we are going to apply. See at the sphygmomanometer dial. So the pressure that we apply is already 70. So let's stop now. After we put all the three components, open the vent knob to enter the air and contact inspection to the instrument. Switch on the sharp drive. Check or the sensitivity to 0.5 and 1.5. And adjust the centering knob. And you need to make an allowance to 25 seconds in order to record the physiological and psychological reactions of the subject coming from the three components. So after the 25 seconds is done, inform the subject that, sir, the test is about to begin, while putting an X, and when the subject answer yes, put a positive sign on the chart paper below the chart guide. And if he answer no, put a negative sign. A 9 to 10 prepared question has done. Tell the subject that, sir, the test has just ended. The first thing that we must to remove is the cardiograph. Second is the pneumograph. Sir, can you please stand up? Sir, can you please raise your hand? And lastly is the electrodermal response. Sir, please be seated. So after that, close the vent knob and switch the power off of the polygraph instrument. And last stage is the post-test interview. In this stage, make sure that you give it to him all the jewelry that you removed a while ago. And ask him what anything he can say about. Sir, do you have anything to say about the investigation?
None, ma'am.
If he say none, shake his hand and tell that, thank you, sir, for the cooperation, and we will inform you about the result of the test as soon as possible.
Thank you, ma'am.
The last stage is the post-test. And there are two forms of post-test. These are the post-test interview. The post-test interview is the last stage of polygraph testing if the subject is a witness who appears to be truthful during the examination proceeding. And it could be the last phase of the test even if the subject is a suspect, provided that the subject chart does not exhibit his strong criteria of deception. Second form is the post-test interrogation. The last phase of polygraph testing, if the subject is to be deceptive during the test, it is applied when FP is convinced that the subject is a deceptive or hiding criminal information significance in solving the case. So this is our video presentation about on how to conduct the polygraph examination.
And this is the end of our video presentation.
And we hope you guys that you learned something from this video.
Thank you for watching.